Capitalism requires constant production and consumption, the need for infinite growth in a finite environment, the ideology of a cancer cell. The ultimate goal has always been individual short-term profit. A very select few are enjoying the fruits off the back-breaking work of the billions who toil. Endless commodity production to turn living green into dead gold. A planet-wide plantation, dictated by the parasitic class, the capital owners, the zookeepers. A place where the human form has been commodified. Our brains have been colonized, our hearts have been domesticated. We are sick creatures confined to a cage, having no alternative hopes beyond our bondage. A world where one class owns the food, the homes, the medicine, the media, the military, yet our enslaved class produces the food, the homes, the medicine, the media, the military. Like a cow being milked, we give and give and give, never tasting the sweetness of our labor until our udders wither away and we are promoted to the meat grinder. When we vocalize our bitter sadness, we are merely outcasted, thrown to the outskirts of society, mocked and forgotten. Addiction, depression, mental illness, symptoms of sickness are to be expected when an animal lives in a toxic environment. Am I depressed? Or am I a colonial subject, subjugated and stripped of my autonomy? Mental health is treated as an individual issue instead of being a systematic response to collective trauma. We are told to ignore the root causes of our problems. Convinced that drunkenness is the cure, told that avoidance is peace, told to hustle harder, be more humble, be more thankful, set our sights on heaven, while the capital-owning classes experience heaven right now, every single second of every single day. Capitalism is fascism. It's a glorified pyramid scheme. It's a death cult that worships money. The United States was founded on genocide, built by slavery, and maintained by imperial war, whose foreign policy has always been fascistic imperialism abroad, with a domestic policy of ruthless extraction from its workforce at home. The United States has never been an upholder of freedom or democracy. What we call a nation is truly a dozen corporations disguised in a trench coat. Governments maintain their rule because they have managed to monopolize violence. Indirect violence by the state goes unnoticed because it is viewed as external and disconnected. Those who own and control the relationships of production have convinced its workers that the physical pain and the material lack they suffer from has nothing to do with the relationships of power. Materialist philosophy is suppressed, and bourgeois idealism is encouraged. We must remember that no government is legitimate, no state has the right to exist, no human is illegal, no border is justified. If these words make you uncomfortable, I don't care. I've been uncomfortable watching the televised Holocaust of the Palestinian people. I've been uncomfortable with ICE, the modern-day Gestapo, kidnapping my fellow brothers and sisters. I'm uncomfortable with the silence, because silence and neutrality are a powerful tool that enables our fascist enemies. Your inability to act is an act within itself. History will remember the deafening screams of silence that outweigh words. It is often said that the end of the world is easier to accept than the end of capitalism. We are told that nothing else exists outside this fickle bubble of postmodern neoliberalism. Alternative methods of thought have been restricted by our captors. When we are told that socialism does not work, they neglect to mention it's because of trade restrictions and military interventions. They claim capitalism is freedom, but freedom for who? Capitalism grants freedoms to the owning class. It grants the freedom to exploit land and labor, the freedom to pollute, the freedom to conquer. History is written by the victor, and European victors tend to burn books and burn people. They destroy what they dislike, and they claim and rename what they do like. Might does not equal right. We should show no respect towards those who have conquered. Their acts of pillage and plunder should not be glorified. They should be shamed, ridiculed, and used as a cautionary tale to avoid unnecessary suffering. We must reject these people, reject everything they stand for. Do not let yourself be tricked into thinking they represent you. You are not a capitalist. You are a worker with Stockholm Syndrome. If your political opinions reflect those of the state, it is because you are blindly regurgitating what you were forcibly programmed to believe. I know a better world is possible. It can be done and it must be done. We must reject both the liberal and conservative parties because they are two sides of the same coin, two wings of the same bird. They represent the interests of the capital-owning class. We must form new organizations and parties outside the influence of capital. We must study the history of class struggle. We must reject ignorance and hatred. We must reject silence and neutrality. We must embrace intersectionality and unity because we have two choices ahead of us: socialism, or environmental collapse.